Now, somebody might listen to this and say, well, okay, tell me somebody the Ask You Answer isn't really for. Well, in its truest sense, I'll give you one. If I was a restaurant, I wouldn't be doing the Ask You Answer hardcore. Like, I wouldn't be answering every single question about like I would about a swimming pool. What I would be doing though is I would be obsessing over showing the story behind my food with video. And each dish on your menu has a story. I would create a visual story. I would show how it's made. So I would show the secret sauce. I would show how it's done. And I would make sure that they felt like they had seen the kitchen and what happened in the kitchen before they ever walked into the restaurant. And that's an essence of actually They Ask You Answer, but it's a different approach. So that's what I would do if I was a restaurant. And I can say that because I have ventures in the food service industry. But the fundamentals of They Ask You Answer for 90 something percent of businesses starts with knowing those questions, worries, fears, issues, addressing them, beginning with the big five: cost, problems, comparisons, reviews, and best, leaning into them, teaching your sales team how to use those things in the sales process. And then everybody starts to win.
Okay, I would have lots of things to say about restaurant because once you're saying the great idea that lots of restaurants, especially after Corona, should do.
Oh
In
my
France,
goodness, yes. Mhm.
in France, we have one restaurant specifically that is extremely famous. I think like for the past 50 years, there are line outside on the streets. Well, besides Corona, of course, they all their success lies on one thing: their béarnaise sauce. Okay, it's a special
Yep.
dressing that they put with the meat. Nobody has the secret of this. It says that it's something that there is a pattern around it, and all the restaurants tried to replicate it. They never could. So I was thinking, yeah, that might be super smart if, for example, after Corona, just to say, okay, we're gonna keep the secret of the sauce, and that's gonna
Well,
be
you know
very
what?
good.
I I I might not in their case if they truly have the Coca-Cola syrup.
Something like
Then
this, yeah.
then in that case I would probably build content around it,
Mm.
but I wouldn't maybe complete it. In other words, I might say we're going to show you the first steps and we're going to see if anybody can guess what comes next. We're going to have a contest or something like that. Or, we're going to you could there's a lot of creative things that you could do with that and and really just get people involved. So it is a different approach. The food service industry is so much more socially driven. It's not as research driven. It's very socially driven. And what people buy in that industry is stories. That's what they're buying. I go to a restaurant, unless I'm just hungry and I'm going to McDonald's, right? But the story that I'm buying there is it's going to taste exactly the same every time. That's the story that I'm buying there. It's cheap. I know it's going to be cheap and I know exactly what it's going to taste like. Complain all you want, but a lot of people complain about it, yet they still go there because they know what to expect. There are no secrets, no seeds of doubt, right? That's why they do well. And so, this is how we evolve the model to the industry, but it's still you obsessing about what buyers want. And that's what I love to do. I can't stop thinking about how I'm changing as a buyer. And that's why I don't sit there and debate about things like, should you be doing video? Uh, what? There's no Are you kidding me? How many videos have you watched? And sometimes people say, "Well, I don't really watch videos." Guess what? Our opinions don't matter. My opinion as a business owner doesn't mean squat. The only opinion that matters is the marketplace. The marketplace dictates what I do. And if this is what they want, then that's what I'm going to do. But hopefully, I'm smart enough to recognize myself. Yeah, this is how I'm evolving. So it doesn't help to be stubborn as a business owner and hold on to the past. Because what worked in the past, at least when it comes to today's buyer, is probably not going to work in the future unless it's a principle of truth like trust.